Good evening. Welcome in. I'm getting myself set up here on TikTok as well. So bear with me for a minute. And then we'll get going. How's everybody doing tonight? Who's on with me? Welcome in. Good evening, everybody. We're going to have some Disney fun tonight. Got a couple of games to play. Got a couple of questions that have been posed that I'll answer. And then we will dive into some games. So welcome in. Hey, Robbie, how are you? Welcome in, buddy. Good to see you. Gonna have some Disney fun tonight. Who's with me on the YouTube side? If you're just joining, my name is Mike. I am a travel agent that specializes in Disney. Robbie, I am outstanding, doing great. I am 12 weeks from today away from being down there by you. Let's see, it's at 7:30, almost there. I should be comfortably in my resort by then. Maybe at Disney Springs having dinner. We'll see. Depends upon what time, if we land on time and what time we get our bags and get to the resort. But we will certainly, barring any flight delays, be down there by now. 12 weeks from today. Ooh. Little mess on my soda here. Oh, well. Going to give it a couple minutes for some others to join, and then we're going to start. We've got a few questions that have been asked, and we got some games to play. Oh, nice. Going to Geo 82 Friday for birthday party and fireworks. That'll be a lot of fun, Robin. That'll be your first time going to Geo, or have you been already? I'm going to share this out with a few other people. First time. Nice. Mucho dinero. $200. Holy moly. Wow. That's crazy, Robbie. That's $200 is like what, half of a Pixie Pass for you down there. That's a chunk of change for sure. I bellyache about spending 50 or $60 at Ohana or someplace like that. There's no way I do 200. Not a chance. Deviled eggs and bourbon. Better be a lot of bourbon. There's not enough eggs in the world to make it worth the $200, even with the increased price of eggs these days. Not a chance. Hey, Tina, how are you? Welcome in. Good to see you. I'm waiting for Blake to join. Hopefully he'll join tonight. I've got some info for him as they're getting ready to go next month down to Disney. Happy to be off work. I hear you there, Tina. No doubt about that. That's always a good thing. And here we are, another Tuesday night. Tanner's made it through his first 2 days of college this year. Slowly convincing your friend. I like that, Tina. Yeah, so Robbie, we moved Tanner, my youngest son, back down to college over I guess it was last Friday. So he's starting his sophomore year of college, day 2 of classes today. Robbie, I will start by saying he is much smarter than me. He is majoring in aerospace engineering. Took me a while just to be able to say the word aerospace, let alone know what it is. So yeah, he's very motivated, very driven. He's known, I think, since his sophomore, maybe junior year of high school that he wanted to study aerospace. So he's doing well. So last year he was in a dorm and with a classmate from high school, which from a parental standpoint was a huge relief just to know that we knew the family he was going to be, of the kid that he was staying with for the year. And so that was great. This year it's still on campus, but it's an apartment, not run by the university. It's run by an outside company, but his bedroom window, he looks right out, and the football stadium is right there, just right across the street. So he's right on campus. It's him and three other guys, so four guys in this apartment. They each have their own bedroom, and then there are two bathrooms. So he and the kid in the room next to him share a bathroom, and then the other two kids share a bathroom. They have a nice sized living room and a huge kitchen. The kitchen is incredible. And, for a bunch of guys, you'd have thought they had shown up and had nothing in that kitchen. But they talked to one another to bring stuff down, which is great. I think some of the wires got crossed. They had 3 crock pots, 2 air fryers, probably enough pots and pans to cook dinner for 40 people. But it was super exciting. One of the roommates put roast in the crock pot Sunday morning. I think it was Saturday, Sunday, one of the two, for the 4 of them to have dinner that evening. So it was pretty cool. Pretty cool experience. One of the other 3 kids is also an aerospace engineering major. Another kid is civil engineering major. And then the 4th kid is a marketing major. So kind of interesting. Robbie, don't we all wish we could go back in time like that? Absolutely. It's funny. I remember being in high school and I remember being in college and couldn't wait to be done. And boy, if somebody would have told me back then that, you're going to be an adult for 50, 60, 70 years, enjoy your teens time. Blake the Runner Beefcake. That is a new one on me. Skell, how are you? Welcome in. Lurking from work. Nice. Love it. Blake, you almost caught me off guard with that name. Wasn't sure who the heck that was. But I'm glad you're here because I got some updated info on Beacon Barrel that I'll share with you here in a little bit. But yeah, Robbie, I'd love to go back in time and be in college again. But I'm excited for him. He did not want to go back, which who does, right? I mean, he was home for the summer, hanging out with his friends and getting to do fun things. But I know once he gets down there, gets in the groove, he'll be loving life. I mean, he had a great time down there last year. Went to football games, went to basketball games, went to some baseball games. Got involved with some of the academic clubs with engineering. As a matter of fact, the week before finals last spring, he came home with 2 friends that were also in aerospace engineering, and they went and took a tour of the Space Museum here in town because they'd heard about it at a symposium down in school. So I thought that was pretty cool. So, all right, gang, it is 7:35 Eastern, 6:35 where I'm sitting. I think we're going to go ahead and get started. I don't know if Cece joined yet or not, if she's on either platform. But we're going to get rolling. She'd asked a couple questions, and I've got brief news and info. I've got a trivia question, and then we're going to play a game. So here we go. Yeah, Robbie, no DCP for Tanner. Nope. I'd love for that to happen. However, once he gets that degree in aerospace, who knows? Maybe he goes and works for NASA down there and gives us a reason to come down there more often. We'll see. All right, so Cece's first question, she asked, what is the best month around the holiday season for a Disney trip? And so when I read her question, my thought was, did she mean Halloween? Did she mean Christmas? So I put down answers to both, and hopefully she'll listen to the replay on this and catch this. But for me, from a Halloween perspective, the absolute lowest crowds, they're in August, but it's hot as blazes in August. So I didn't even include August. So the first 2 weeks of September are probably the lowest crowds during the extended Halloween season down there. If you want to go closer to Halloween with low crowds, like September 28th through October 3rd this fall, that last week of September into the first few days of October, lower crowd levels. Once you get into October, hey, Cece, once you get into October, crowd levels get to be higher and higher the closer you get to Halloween. So if you don't mind going earlier in the Halloween season, you'll beat the crowds. If you truly want to be there for Halloween, then just understand it'll be crowded then. If you're talking about the Christmas holiday season, lowest crowds you're going to get the first week in November. The Halloween hangover, first week in November, and then the week before Thanksgiving, lower crowds because everybody's gearing up to be there during Thanksgiving week. If you want to be a little bit closer to Christmas time, the first 2 weeks of December are manageable crowd levels before they start to ramp up for the Christmas season. So, CC, I've been there. Heck, we were there. I've never been there on Christmas Day. We've been there New Year's Eve in that stretch, and crowded as all get out. I'd do it again every single year. I don't mind the crowds. I love the experience, just the energy and the excitement. We've obviously been down there different times during Christmas season. We've been down there different times during Halloween season. For me personally, the crowds aren't really a factor. It's just getting to experience the holidays, which are pretty magical. But there are certainly certain days and weeks that the crowds are a little bit lower during those holiday seasons. CC's second question was, if she has a family member that requires injections, do I let the staff know? So a couple of things there for you, CC. First off, okay, Robbie said, I was there on Christmas Day. It was on my go-to list. That would be so cool, Robbie. Now, I would tell you, when my kids were little, for me personally, I couldn't imagine not having them wake up at home on Christmas morning and presents under the tree and Santa and all those things. Now that they're older, I wouldn't think twice of it, other than the fact that we now have grandkids. So Christmas is starting to become a big deal again. Anyway, I'm sorry. So CC, family member that requires injections, do I let the staff know? So first off, if you're staying on property, I'll start there. Absolutely let the resort know, so they have that information on file. If the injections are things that they do, say overnight or in the morning or in the evening, and you're not taking that to the parks with you, encourage them to, store it away safely, just so that the cleaning staff, when they arrive in the room, they're not having to handle it and work around it or move it or anything like that. You probably want to keep it safe. So secure that, put it away so that staff doesn't have to do it. If it's something that you need to have with you, so that they can have their injections during the park day or possibly during the park day, when you get to the park, let security know up front, because you're going to go through bag check, and it's better to be up front and honest with them to let them know what's in that bag, so that they aren't maybe inspecting it further, questioning it, whatever the case may be. I would also encourage you to stop by First Aid, the baby care center. Let them know if it's something that they can store, if you don't have to keep it on your body. I would encourage you to have them store it. It's one less thing for you to have to handle throughout the park when you're riding rides or eating or whatever the case may be. And then you can stop by the care center for the injection when you need it. Okay, Robbie said the crowds were not that bad, but later on the afternoon. Yeah, I can see that, Robbie, on Christmas Day, that it wouldn't be too crowded in the morning, but then pick up during the day. Interesting, though, I would bet if we could go back in time, I'll say 10 years, just for argument's sake, there was a period in time, I think, when more and more people believed that the Christmas Day parade we were watching on ABC was happening live at the Magic Kingdom as we were watching it. So I would bet 10 years ago, again, whatever that time frame is, the park might have been more crowded in the morning because people showed up assuming they were going to watch the parade live that was being shown on ABC. Now, with the advent of social media and all of the things that we see and hear and everything, most people know that thing is recorded a month in advance in November. And so you don't have the rush of the crowd on Christmas morning. But absolutely, I could totally see Christmas afternoon crowd picking up. Let's see over here on the side. Blake said we love Christmas minus the crowds. Totally get that. I'm one of those oddballs that I don't mind the crowds. I actually look forward to Black Friday shopping. I don't mind standing in line waiting to get in. I don't mind the day after Christmas shopping when everything is 50% off or 80% or whatever it is these days. More so just a people watch than anything. I love that aspect of it. But definitely, I don't mind the crowd. Like I said, we were there 2 years in a row on New Year's Eve at Epcot. Fabulous experience New Year's Eve at Epcot on the big giant golf ball. They've got a digital clock counting down by seconds until you get to midnight. The show over the lagoon and around the world showcase is phenomenal. I would do that again in a heartbeat, no doubt about it. Okay, news that I have. Not much happening these days right now. It's kind of a lull period, I think, for Disney. But Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party that is going on now. Actually, tonight is a party night. These dates are sold out. Tonight's was sold out. August 22nd and 29th is sold out. So, Robbie, you're down there locally. If you're planning on going to a Halloween party, you don't have tickets yet, you want to hear this. Again, August 19th, 22nd, 29th are sold out. September 5th, 12th are sold out. And then October 7th, 10th, and Halloween Day, October 31st is sold out. Those are gone, and I'm sure we'll just keep adding sold out dates as we go along here. None of the Christmas parties, Jollywood or Mickey's Very Merry, have sold out at this point in time. So those are still fair game to get. All right, Blake, this is for you. In particular, the Beak and Barrel that we talked about last week that's opening. It will be open when you guys are there in September. Reservations were supposed to open today. They had a problem. I don't know what happened, but they're now going to open reservations tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So interesting and unique. Usually reservations open at like 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. in the morning. They're doing it tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. The optimist in me says that's a good thing because people are busy in the evenings. 7 p.m. Eastern is 6 o'clock Central, and 5 and 4 further out west. So people are still at work, coming home from work, fixing dinner. If they're down in Florida, they might be at the park and they'll be distracted. So you may not see the same rush of people hitting that website at 7 p.m. tomorrow night for reservations for Beak and Barrel like you would in the mornings. So I'm hoping that's the case. Let's see here. Still going to try my luck and try to score a reservation to Beak and Barrel tomorrow. Yes. You were one of those caught up in the mess last week. So yeah, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern. Blake said my girls are waiting with the fingers on the trigger. There you go. Good. Get those girls ready to go. I like it. Okay, so that's that. No new promotions announced. The same promos that we've talked about the last couple of weeks. If you're looking to do a Disney cruise, third and fourth guest in your cabin, 50% off. Cruise is October 3rd through March 30th. So it's about a 6-month window. They still have the 20% off rooms at Walt Disney World, October 12th through November 20th, and November 23rd through Christmas Day. And then Florida and Georgia residents, they've got room deals November 16th through the 29th and December 12th through the 25th. All-Star Sports at $129 a night, Riverside at $199 a night, Art of Animation, Little King, Lion King Suite. I don't say Little King. There's a sandwich shop here in town called Little King. Art of Animation, Lion King Suite, $299 a night, Saratoga Springs, $319 a night, and the Savannah View rooms at Animal Kingdom Lodge, $429 a night. So pretty good deal there. Robbie, I got to ask, since you're local now, have you stayed on property at all and getting any of the Florida resident rates, or do you just say, well, heck, I'm just a short car ride away. There's no point in spending the money to stay on property. I'd be curious, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to. And then I've got a trivia question, and then we're going to play our game, or maybe 2 games. We'll see how it goes. You're staying at Pop Century Friday night for nice 163. I love Pop Century. Absolutely love Pop Century. That's one of my favorites. I'm a massive Skyliner fan. If we could build a Skyliner here in Omaha so I could take it from my house to work, I'd do that every day. I don't care what the weather would be like. It'd be awesome. All right. I have one, I think it's fun trivia question. Then we'll have at least 1, maybe 2 games. We'll see how they go. Sometimes annual pass discounts cheaper than Florida resident. Yeah, you're right there, Robbie. Yeah, absolutely. But the cool thing there is, you technically have a shot at 3 different promotions, right? Florida resident promotion, annual pass promotion, and then just the general population promotions. So your opportunities to secure a deal are better than mine, that's for sure. Okay, so here we are. It's August 19th. Traditionally, September into October is the peak of hurricane season. And if you are a weather geek like me at all, you know that there's a big hurricane out in the Atlantic Ocean. It's not going to hit Florida. It's curving north. It's going to be between the East Coast and Bermuda. But I think it was, I don't know, Friday, Saturday, a couple days ago that thing jumped from 75 miles an hour sustained winds to 160 mile an hour sustained winds. So that prompted me to do a little research. Robbie, you're not that far from the parks, but they won't drive on the Florida Turnpike. Yeah, Robbie, look, the day that Disney allowed me to stay on property and take me to the parks and back was the day I got rid of getting a rental car, because the last thing I want to do is have to drive at night on roads that I'm not all that familiar with 50,000 other people doing the same thing. So I'm happy to take transportation and not worry about that. Okay, so here we go, hurricane season. So here's my trivia question. So I asked the question. I've got 4 multiple choice, 4 answers for you to pick from. How many times in the nearly 54 years that Walt Disney World has been open, how many times has Walt Disney World closed due to a hurricane? So your options are, and you can do A, B, C, or D. A is 0 to 10 years. I'm sorry, 0 to 10 times. B is 11 to 20. C is 21 to 30. Or D is 31 plus. So again, 0 to 10 is A. 11 to 20 is B. 21 to 30 is C. And 31 plus is D. Hey, Karen, how are you? Welcome in. Steve, how are you? Good to see you, sir. 12 weeks from today, I'll be seeing you, Uber Steve. Tina says A. Blake says A. Skell says A. Dina says A. So your answers are all 0 to 10 times. Karen says A. Anthony, welcome in. Anthony said A. Karen, I'm on your FYP. Boy, they'll let anybody there, won't they? Countdown is on. Yes, sir. I said this earlier. 12 weeks from right now, barring flight delays, I should already be at my resort. I'm excited about that. Okay, so Steve, you're a local there. My trivia question I asked is this: how many times in the nearly 54 years that Walt Disney World has been open have they closed due to a hurricane? And your options are A, 0 to 10 times, B, 11 to 20, C, 21 to 30, or D, 31 plus. If you want to play, you can pop in your answer. So far, everybody has said A, 0 to 10 times. Somebody's going to challenge me on the answer that I give and the information I have. And I'll challenge it myself a little bit. All right. So when I was researching and inquired how many times is Disney World closed due to a hurricane, the answer that was provided was 19. And I'm going to give you all of the dates. And then I'm going to give you my qualifier as to why I would argue my answer slightly, although I think it still fits in 11 to 20 times. Now, here's to me is the amazing thing. So Walt Disney World opened in 1971, October 1st, 1971. The very first time they closed Disney World due to a hurricane was not until September 14th and 15th of 1999. So imagine that the park was open for almost 28 years before the first time they were closed due to a hurricane. That blows my mind. Second time was August 13th of 2004. And 2004 was a rough year. So August 13th, September 4th, and September 5th, and September 26th, Walt Disney World closed due to hurricanes. So 4 dates, 3 storms that hit, causing them to close. October 24th of 2005. And then we went over a decade, October 6th and 7th of 2016, September 9th, 10th, and 11th of 2017, September 3rd of 2019, September 28th and 29th of 2022. Then this one also is, to me, is kind of fascinating. November 9th and 10th of 2022. So really towards the tail end of the hurricane season. I know it goes through the end of November, but usually it's tailed off quite a bit. And then the last time was last year, October 9th and 10th of 2024. Now, here's my qualifier. In some of these dates, and I don't quote me on them, but for argument's sake, last year, November or October 9th and 10th of 2024, I don't think the parks were closed 2 full days. They may have been open for half day and then they closed afternoon, evening on, but it triggered as being closed, so that it was on here. So you could probably argue it's less than 19, but it's still more than 10. But anyway, I thought it was pretty interesting to me personally as a weather geek, especially the fact that it wasn't until 1999 that they closed for the very first time due to hurricanes. So pretty interesting. All right, so there was my quick, simple trivia. I have 2 different games that we could play. I'll let you guys pick a. Blake, you'll be fine. Yes, you're going in the dead in the middle of the hurricane season. Last year we did the meet and greet September 12, 13, and 14. So we were smack in the middle. I never thought twice about it. Didn't faze me. I've been down there several times in the fall. I remember being down there for a business trip once. That the day we were supposed to fly out, we went to one of the amusement parks, might have been Universal. It was me and a coworker for the mid-morning, and then we had an afternoon flight, and there was a tropical system rolling in, and his wife was calling him frantic, "You got to get on an earlier flight. You got to get out of there. You got to get out of there." And he looked at me, and I looked at him, and we're like, "No, let's go ride the Hulk," or whatever we were going to ride at that point in time. And but we got to the airport, got on our plane. I swear it seemed like as the plane was going down the runway, the rain started hitting the window. So we got out of there just in time. But I wouldn't sweat it at all, Blake. As Robbie said, Disney is really good about hurricanes. He booked in 2022 and got a full refund. So yeah, there's a couple things there. If at the point in time you're supposed to fly down there or drive down there, if there's a hurricane warning in the area there or where you live, they'll refund you full refund, no questions asked. They'll move your vacation if you need to. If you're already there and a storm is coming in, customer safety is by far number one for them. They'll have their resort stocked up with food. They'll try to do games and fun things. They'll have some of the characters at the resorts, especially for the littles who might be a little more anxious. They do everything they can to make the experience as magical as possible. I wouldn't think twice about it, Blake. Not at all. Okay, so I have 2 different games. You can pick A or B. Hey, Ronnie, welcome in. You can pick A or B. Ronnie, you're here just in time for games. So, Skell, I was already in a Cat 4 when I lived in the Caribbean years ago. I figure lightning won't strike twice, but you never know. So, my wife and I went to Hawaii for a honeymoon, and it was in September, 33 years ago almost. Again, I'm a weather nerd. I knew that a hurricane was in the Pacific, and it was marching towards Hawaii. I didn't tell her. There was not a chance in the world I was going to tell her because she would have said, "We're not going." We went, got down there, and like a day before the hurricane was going to hit our island, that morning I told her, I said, "Hey, there's a hurricane. It's going to just skirt the island. We should be fine. No big deal." Well, the day that it hit, and it really didn't hit. We didn't have rain or anything. We had some wind. I was supposed to go golfing, and it was on the other side of the island. It was, 80 degrees or whatever it was, and the wind was blowing maybe 20 miles an hour, which is a gentle breeze in the Midwest. We drove to the other side of the island, pulled in that parking lot of the golf course. There was one car there, and it was the guy working the golf course. He's like, "We're closed due to the wind." And I remember telling him to this day, it's a good thing you don't run a golf course in Nebraska because you'd always be closed if you're closing for 20-mile-an-hour winds. We're driving back to our resort on the other side of the island. And again, I'll never forget this. Come around this corner, and there's a park right on the shore, and waves are just crashing as hard and crazy as can be. In this boulder that was probably 2, 3, 4 foot tall, come up rolling out of the ocean, roll right up the beach, right across the road in front of us. That was like, wow, that's insane. But we survived, no problem. Blake, you'll be perfectly fine. And Skell, you'll be good too. Okay, man, Game number one. If you want to play game number one, we're going to rank the resorts. So we'll rank the value resorts, rank the moderates, rank the deluxe. I've never stayed in all of them, so my rankings are going to be based on what I've seen, what I've read, what I've heard, anything like that. And everybody's ranking is different, so we can do that. So we'll call that game A. Game B is we'll play this or that, where I'll give you 2 items, and you pick this one or you pick that one as your favorite. So you want to play game A or you want to play game B? And if we have time, we'll play both, but which one do you want to start with? Tina says game B, so she wants to do this or that. Dina says game B, or game B. And Dina, if I didn't say hi to you, hello, good evening, good to see you. Karen, you're so partial to when it comes to the resorts. I hear you. And I think, people's rankings are for different reasons too, which I think is pretty cool. Robbie wants to play game B, this or that. So I got 3 Bs and no As. So we're a bunch of B students. I guess that's all right. 3.0 GPA is not horrible. All right, so let's do it. Let's play this or that. It's personal preference. There's no prizes. I might keep track of how many people say this one versus that one just for the heck of it. Blake says A, the girls say B. Sorry, Blake, girls outnumber you 2-1, so B it is. All right, so we're going to play this or that. Here we go. First one. Mickey, pretzel or popcorn? Which one are you going with? Pretzel or popcorn? Ronnie says pretzel. Pretzel says Karen. Popcorn says Tina. Pretzel says Robbie. Now, Blake, you said pretzel. Did the girls also say pretzel, or do they have a different answer? Disneyac, welcome in. Disneyac says popcorn. We're playing this or that. Hopefully you caught that. Ava says popcorn. Hello, Ava. Blake and his girls, now we get pretzel for the girls too. Okay. Girls, don't let your dad pressure you into these answers. Your answers are more valuable than his. I mean, as valuable as his. More valuable. Okay, next one. And I just was winging it when I threw these things together. Okay, Dole Whip or Mickey ice cream sandwich? Ava says, hi, Mike and Ike. Dole Whip or Mickey ice cream? Dole Whip says Ronnie. Dina with Dole Whip. Disneyac with sandwich. Wolf says, Tina says Dole Whip. Ava says Mickey sandwich. Blake with Dole Whip. Again, Blake, is that you or is that the girls? All 3 of you. Okay. So a little closer. Pretzel won 5-3. Dole Whip 4-2. I don't know if they still have it, but when we were there last September, and if any of you guys were watching, I drank that god-awful pickle shake, and I thought I was going to die. We started walking around the World Showcase and made it, I don't know, maybe two locations over and found watermelon flavored Dole Whip. Man, that was the cat's meow. I like that a lot. Okay, next up. A sundae at the ice cream parlor on Main Street or popcorn at the confectionery? Sundae at the ice cream parlor or popcorn at the confectionery? Karen with sundae. Popcorn says Blake. Sundae for Disneyac. Sundae for Dina. Sundae for Tina and Ava. Dina, Tina, and Ava. You guys can start a law firm. A law firm of Dina, Tina, and Ava. Robbie says popcorn. This one was a really hard one for me, which is why I paired it up. I think I would do the ice cream sundae at the ice cream parlor as a dessert, but I could make a batch of that confectionery popcorn and call that dinner for me. Get the best of both worlds. All right, next up, are you going to go with a Mickey waffle or a churro? Noli, welcome in. Good to see you. Good. I'm glad Blake's girls are in. Disney X said neither. Not going with a waffle or churro. Waffle for Dina. Mickey Waffle says Karen. Never had a churro. So I've had a churro, and I've heard people say that Disney World churros are horrible. Disneyland is where it's at. Mickey Waffle for Tina and Ava, and Noli with a waffle. Robbie with a waffle. I don't know if I said that or not. So it looks like waffles are shutting out the churro. I would go with the waffle. And if you want the best of both worlds, go to Crystal Palace at the Magic Kingdom for breakfast, and you can have a Mickey churro waffle. Can't have churros, you're allergic to cinnamon. Tina, I don't think you're allergic to cinnamon. I think you're just sweet enough as you are. Therefore, you don't need the cinnamon. That's what's going on. Okay. Next up, are you going to go to Casey's Corner or are you going to go to Cosmic Rays? Casey's Corner or Cosmic Rays? Dina with Cosmic. Blake with Cosmic. Okay, so Robbie said Cosmic. Karen said they're both her last resort, but Cosmic. Noli with Cosmic. Tina and Ava, Cosmic. Ronnie has, says Cosmic. Different answers now than a few months ago. Cosmic for Disney Act. Looks like Cosmic blanks Casey's Corner. I would pick Cosmic as well. There's just more variety to pick from. And you get Sunny Eclipse to sing to you. Can't beat that. Okay. Y'all know my answer to this one. I don't even have to give you my answer. Monorail or Skyliner? Which one are you picking for your mode of transportation? Monorail or Skyliner? Karen says monorail all day long. Ronnie says monorail. Ava says Skyliner. Tina says monorail. Dina says monorail. Disney and Robbie both say monorail. Blake says Skyliner. Noli, what say you? Oh, and Karen, you said monorail all day long. Just know that if you do that, you won't get to go to the parks because you'll be in the monorail all day long. Oh, yes, Karen, the original Skyway ride inside the Magic Kingdom, I remember it fondly. Do I have it written down here somewhere? I do. Where the heck is it? Come on. Yeah, the Skyway was an original October 1st, 1971 ride. I believe it closed in 1999. Don't quote me on that. Mike is definitely saying monorail. Well, Tina, I thought you knew me better than that. Noli says Skyliner. I'm Skyliner all day, every day. Love it, love it, love it. I think it was one of the best things Disney did to put that in. Okay. So, Jordan, welcome in. How are you? Good to see you. And Nikki, welcome in. We are playing This or That Disney Edition. So I'm giving you two things to pick from. You pick which one you like better. Katie, welcome in. Okay, so while this kind of ties to Game B, you can forget between now and then. Are you picking Pop Century or are you picking Art of Animation? Which one are you going with? Can't pick one because of the Skyliner since they both have Skyliner. Ronnie says Pop. Dina says Art of Animation. Tina says Art of Animation. Blake says Art of Animation. Jordan says Pop. Robbie, did I get that? Robbie said Pop. Noli says Art. Tina's Art. Ava says Art of Animation. Disneyac says Pop. This one is close. It's 4-5. So I can't break the tie, but I can cause the tie. So here, bear with me. I pick Pop, and here's the reason why. First off, Art of Animation is the most Disney-themed resort of any of them. It's fabulous. If you got little kids, it's awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Art of Animation from a value resort cost a considerable amount more than Pop Century. The rooms, if you get the standard rooms, the Little Mermaid rooms in Art of Animation and then the standard rooms at Pop Century, they're almost identical with one, to me, major exception. Two major exceptions. And unless it's changed, I was at Art of Animation 2 years ago and Pop Century last fall. Pop Century has more storage than Art of Animation. They have a dresser where the TV's on with enough room for clothes. And in the bathroom area where the sink is, they have a full floor to ceiling shelf. Art of Animation doesn't have. So from that standpoint, between the price and the storage, I would pick Pop. Robbie, I think Art of Animation is so much for two reasons. One, the theming. I think they feel like they can get away with charging more because of the theming. And outside of the Little Mermaid rooms, the rest of that resort are all suites. And so you're getting a higher price tag from that standpoint as well. But it's not, I mean, they're not super comparable in price. So that's why I would pick Pop. But the theming, you absolutely cannot go wrong. When we were there 2 years ago, it was me, Lori, and Tanner. I didn't have a little kid with me. I was totally in awe of the theming at Art of Animation. Okay, jump into the next one. Are you picking Expedition Everest or are you picking Kilimanjaro Safari? Dina, I would agree with you. The Little Mermaid rooms need updated soon. I totally agree with you. Okay, Everest or Safari? Noli's going Expedition Everest. Tina and Ava say Safari. Blake says Safari. Dina says Expedition Everest. Ronnie says Everest. Karen says Safari. Disneyac is busy eating their churros, so they picked. First they said neither, then they said Safari. Okay, put the churro down, get on the Safari. Jordan says Safari. I love them both. You can't go wrong with either one of them, but I would pick the Safari as well. And I think the thing I love about it is every time you ride it, it's different. The animal interaction is different. The activity of the animals is different. So you just can't go wrong with that. I saw, it was yesterday, the day before, I saw a picture that was taken on the Safari where the lions are. And, you know, they're up on that big rock formation. And sometimes you might see one of the lions laying out. You might see two of them, but they're nowhere close to each other. This picture was the male lion, the female lion, probably 2 feet apart from one another with their heads both looking at the camera. It was like, holy Moses, incredible. Tina says morning safari is hard to beat. Absolutely correct. I always advise to do the safari first thing in the morning before it gets too hot. The animals are far more active. If you go at the very end of the day, you can also get some activity with the animals. It's amazing as well, at least me anyway, I don't need a clock to tell me when it's lunchtime. My belly tells me when it's lunchtime. The giraffe don't need a clock to tell them that it's almost time for the safari to close. They all huddle up together where they're getting fed. It's pretty funny to see that. I was going to say something else. I don't remember what it is. Oh, well. So, yeah. And again, I love Everest too. So you can't go wrong with either, but safari wins. All right. Staying with rides, but we're heading to Epcot for this one. Are you picking Soarin' or are you picking Remy, Ratatouille? Which one are you picking? Remy says Jordan. Soren says Ronnie. Remy for Ava and Tina. Soren for Dina. Remy for Robbie. Churro for Disney. Blake is Soren. Noli is Soren. We're tied 4-4. Wait, no. Karen picks Remy. Can't ride Soren. So that's a hard one for me because I absolutely adore Soren. I love it. I love it. I love it. There's one thing I wish they would do different. I wish Soren was like Star Tours. And what I mean by that is in Star Tours, there's 8, 10, 12 different films that you could watch in the simulator. I would love if Soren had 2 or 3 or 4 different that you could randomly see. And you don't know what it's going to be until you sit down and it starts. I think that would make it so much more exciting. And I'd really enjoy that even more. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I love Remy as well. I think it's a very cute ride. Anytime they can add additional rides in the World Showcase, I think is a wonderful thing. Parks with Mark, welcome in. How are you? We're playing This or That Disney edition. If you want to hang out and play with us a little bit, you can. Love to have you join us. So I would probably pick, gosh dang it, I'd probably pick Soren, I guess, if I had to pick one over the other. Okay, let's go to the next one. Two, what I call marquee attractions. Are you going to pick Flight of Passage at Animal Kingdom, or are you going to pick Rise of the Resistance at Hollywood Studios? FOP or Rise? FOP says Ronnie. Flight of Passage for Ava. Rise for Tina. Rise for Noli. Rise for Mark. Karen, that's the fun of it. She said, I can't put those two together. They're a must. They're absolutely must, but you got to pick one. Flight of Passage says Jordan, begrudgingly. Rise of the Resistance says Dina. I think I got Blake and Noli's. You're both Rise. Flight of Passage then says Karen. It's kind of fun, isn't it? Never been on either. Disneyac's sitting around eating churros all day, apparently, aren't you? Flight of Passage, you think? I'm personally, so it's tied. Rise and Flight of Passage are tied, which shows you probably how hard it is to pick, right? These are two marquee showcase rides. Love them both. I would pick Rise, though. To me, that is the most experiential ride attraction. The whole thing is such an experience that, to me, it sets it apart from anything else down there. Okay, so next one, I think I'm going to have a pretty good sense who's going to win this one, but I paired them up together because I didn't really feel like there was much else I could pair. So are you doing Tron or are you doing Guardians of the Galaxy? I'll just put my pin over where I assume all the votes are going to be. Tron or Guardians? Ronnie says Guardians. Noli says Guardians. Dina says Tron. Tron, Robbie, Last Car. Mark with Guardians. Karen with Tron. Jordan with Tron. Guardians for Tina and Ava. Tron for Blake. Guardians makes him green in the face, we'll say. Guardians gives Blake the mission space feel. How about that? Disneyac Tron question mark. I'm shocked that this is like pretty much a tie, because I thought for sure Guardians would have just blown Tron out of the water. So that's pretty cool. While I'm on my color commentator, all the mission space hate. Call me a groupie, Tina. What can I say? I've said this before, so if you've probably heard me say it in the past, but I am totally ready for them to circulate new songs into Guardians of the Galaxy. I think we did this one of our Tuesday nights where you could pick new songs to put in. I'm totally ready for that. If they don't want to scrap all 6 of them, put 2 new ones in and saddle 2 of them for a month or 2, and then put 2 other new ones in and put whatever. I'm ready for some new songs. Karen says this is fun, and Robbie says yes, it's time. It is time, absolutely. And it's the same ride, but just the refresh of some songs, I think, would give it some good juice. Tina, you want September once. You've never had September? That's crazy. That's unbelievable. When we were there in May with Tyler and Kennedy and our grandson Briggs, and we did Guardians, only rode it once, and boom, we got September. So they thought that was pretty cool. All right, here we go. Next pick 'em. This or that, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train or Big Thunder Mountain? Big Thunder for Karen. Big Thunder for Mark. Big Thunder for Jordan. Big Thunder for Tina. Big Thunder for Blake. Seven Dwarfs for Noli. Big Thunder for Robbie. Mine Train for Dina. I would say, Noli, you're going to ride by yourself. But Dina came to save you. Seven Dwarfs, says Ronnie. We got 3 dwarf loving riders. Disneyac with Seven Dwarfs. Put the churro down and hop on the ride. Yes. Again, another one that is closer than I thought. 6-4. I thought Big Thunder would blow Seven Dwarfs Mine Train away. Now, I will say this. I love Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, but I don't think the line is worth the wait. When it's like an hour long and it wraps freaking all the way around back by Little Mermaid thing back there, that's way too long for me. But I do love the ride. Okay, we're going to clash a couple of legacies. It is too short for how long the line is. Absolutely, Tina. You need to link it with Tron and have one big long roller coaster. Okay, are you doing Haunted Mansion, or are you doing Pirates of the Caribbean? Or Caribbean? Whichever ride you like. Pirates of the Caribbean, or Haunted Mansion. Karen. Yes, I did. Ronnie said Pirates. Tina said Haunted. Dina said Pirates. So over on TikTok, Karen said, no, you didn't just do that again. Disneyac picked Pirates. Noli picked Pirates. Robbie with Haunted Mansion. Jordan with Haunted Mansion. Mark with Haunted Mansion. Come on, Karen. What say you? I think I probably have more fun putting this together than we do actually playing the game. Karen says Pirates. Arg. She said Pirates. So Haunted Mansion 5-4. I knew that was going to be a tough one. When I paired them up, I'm like, ooh, that's going to hurt. All right, so let's Road Trip Adventure. Welcome in. We are playing This or That Disney style. Feel free to join in and play with us. This or that, you're picking Peter Pan or Winnie the Pooh. Peter Pan and Winnie the Pooh. What say you? Tina with Winnie the Pooh. Dina with Peter Pan. Winnie the Pooh's up. Wait a minute. Disneyac said Peter. Mark said Winnie the Pooh. Robbie said Peter Pan. Jordan said Peter Pan. Over on this side, Dina, I think I got your Peter Pan. Blake with Peter Pan. Ronnie with Peter. Noli, what's your vote? Which pirate are you picking? No, not pirate. Peter Pan. I was back on. I've lost my mind. I know I've lost my mind. I did. I screwed up the last one. Okay. Road Trip said Winnie the Pooh. I've totally lost it. Ronnie says Peter Pan. So Peter Pan won that one. This is another ride. I love the ride, but the wait is way too long. So the last one, yeah, Peter Pan or Winnie the Pooh. Thank you, Karen. The last one, did I say Haunted Mansion or Pirates of the Caribbean? I think that's what I did, didn't I? It's not what I wrote down. I wrote down Haunted Mansion or Jungle Cruise. I totally screwed that up. Man, oh man. Okay, we're gonna regroup. Here we go. So maybe I'll have to find something to pair up against Jungle Cruise. We might do a surprise one at the very end. Okay, we're heading to Hollywood Studios. Are you picking Tower of Terror or Rock and Roller Coaster? Tower says Jordan. Tower says Mark. Tower says Jessica. Welcome in, Jessica. Tower says Road Trip. Tower Terror for Ava. Rockin' for Tina. Blake says Tot. Ronnie says Tower. Rockin' says Dina. Neither says Robbie. Disneyak said Tot and handed Robbie the churro. Noli says Tower. I'm not all for the Muppet theme. Yeah, Karen, I know. I hear you. I read this thing today about it, though, and it's all speculation, that the Muppet stuff might be all pre-show and in the queue waiting for the ride, but the ride itself might just have songs kind of like Guardians does. And so there's hope that if that plays out, that maybe one of the songs could still be Aerosmith. So we'll see. We'll see. But I'll be interested to see what they do with it. All right. So Noli, I see what you did there, because I'm like going, wait a minute. Noli changed her name from Noli to Noli Jillian. So I got to get 2 votes out of you now. Mark, good to see you. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Have a good night. Okay, let's keep going. So Tower of Terror won that one, hands down. What happened to Test Lab with the Muppets? That's a good question, Road Trip. They could do a whole Muppet section in one of the parks. I think it'd be a big hit for people. Okay, we're going nighttime. Are you picking Happily Ever After, or are you picking Fantasmic? HEA or Fantasmic? Karen with Happily Ever After. Happily Ever After for Road Trip. Happily Ever After, hands down, for Disneyak. Ronnie says Fantasmic all day. Although, Ronnie, I hear it's better at night than during the day, but that's neither here nor there, I suppose. Tina with Fantasmic. Blake with Fantasmic. Noli and Jillian with Fantasmic. Dina says Happily Ever After. Jordan says, I can't do that, but I guess Fantasmic. I can do that. That's the beauty of sitting in this chair. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate that. I have a very warped mind. She said I'm really quick. So Fantasmic 5, HEA 4. And I would pick Fantasmic all day because of one reason only. I want Wishes to come back to the Magic Kingdom. That will be my favorite nighttime fireworks show at the Magic Kingdom till the day I die. Robbie with Phantasmic. So Phantasmic goes 6-4 now. Karen, isn't Wishes just the best? It's just the best. Tina, you know it. Wishes and bring back Illuminations at Epcot. Absolutely. You're talking my language. Again, just like mixing in new songs at Guardians, throw Wishes out there once a week or twice a week at the Magic Kingdom. It's harder to do Illuminations at Epcot because of the mechanics and everything, but fireworks are fireworks, right? They're able to do Happily Ever After, and then when they have the extended evening hours, the ticketed event, they can do, I can't think of the name of the other one, but Enchantment, that's what it is. They're able to do that, so they can figure out how to do Wishes once a week. I would like that a lot. So Tina says the 100-year anniversary of Walt Disney World, bring back Wishes. Tina, you're going to make me wait 45 more years? Are you kidding me? Do you have any idea how old I will be? I might be a world record setter at that point in time if I'm still around. Illuminations had its own storyline, and the music was amazing instead of just repeating all Disney. Karen, yes, dear God, yes. I do like Luminous has some unique music to it, but it still pulls in some Disney songs. But that's what I loved about Illuminations, that it wasn't listening to Disney songs on a soundtrack. It was special music. And as corny as it is, at the very beginning of that thing, when they went and blew out the torches, it was just like, man, that is just mastery. Yeah, Tina, I did see that they did Wishes for anniversary party last year for the cast. Yeah, Disney Act says chills. Karen says goosebumps. Absolutely. Just talking about it, I get goosebumps. Okay, let's keep going because I got about 10 more. We're heading to Animal Kingdom. It's showtime. Are you doing Lion King, Festival of the Lion King, or are you doing Nemo? To me, probably two of the best daytime shows in all of Disney. But which one are you going with? Lion King or Festival? Karen says Festival of the Lion King. Lion King says Robbie. Lion King says Jordan. Lion King says Disneyac. Lion King says Noli and Jillian. Lion King says Blake. Lion King, hands down, best show ever, says Tina. Ronnie says Simba. I don't remember Simba in the sea, so it must be Festival of Lion King. Dina with Festival of Lion King. It's a clean sweep. Festival of Lion King wins 9-0. No hate on Nemo because I think it's a great show and it's an amazing get off my feet, get in some amazing air conditioning show when it's hot outside. But Festival of the Lion King to me is the best daytime show in all of Walt Disney World. The show itself is spectacular. The acts, the monkeys, the tumble monkeys, the dude with the knives and the fire, the gal who does the acrobatics, all incredible. Just the energy inside that auditorium with the crowd and everything is spectacular. So Lion King all day, every day for me. If I run short on time in that park, that's the one I make sure I see. But if we have the time, I'm seeing Lion King, I'm seeing Nemo, and I'm seeing the Bird Show. Awesome shows. Love them. Yes, Tina says Nemo is good AC. Exactly. Okay, now we're going to do some characters. Are you Team Tiana or Team Moana? It's the Battle of the Nas. Tiana or Moana? Tina says characters are hard. Noli and Jillian says Tiana. Moana says Disneyac. Moana says Robbie. Moana says Dina. Tina says Tiana. Blake says Moana. Moana says Robbie. Moana says Karen. Just in general, Jordan, it's this or that. You pick one or the other. If you want to do it in terms of meeting them, you can do that. In terms of your excitement and seeing them in the parade, whatever it may be. That's the beauty of it. You get to make the definition of why you're picking one or the other. Jordan says Tiana. And the definition of why you pick one versus the other could be completely, totally unrelated to anything anybody can imagine. Like for me, it's Moana all day, every day, because my little grandson Briggs, who just turned 2 a couple weeks ago, adores Moana. We'll sit and watch that movie from start to finish, and he will sit there the 2 hours and watch it. He couldn't wait to meet her when we were there a couple months ago, 2-3 months ago. It's been 3 months now, I guess. Saw her at Epcot over by the water, the Moana water thing. She came over. He grabbed her hand, walked over to where she was at, stood there just kind of staring at her, smiling. She signed his autograph book, handed the book back to him, and he plopped down on his butt right there in front of her, put the book down, and he was ready to sign his own name on the book. It was so cute. Yeah, Tina said, love the picture of Briggs and Moana. So that's why I picked Moana. And honestly, that's why I pick Wishes, because my kids who are old, my youngest is 19 now. My kids grew up on Wishes and they grew up on Illuminations. So I have those memories as a parent. And that's why I absolutely love those shows. Now, check with me in 10 years after taking Briggs and eventually our granddaughter Poppy down, and maybe I'll feel differently about the current shows. But yeah, Karen grew up on Wishes. Exactly. I was already grown up. My kids grew up on Wishes, but I know exactly what you're saying. So it's totally there. Okay. Next character pick. Are you picking Donald or are you picking Goofy? Donald or Goofy? I couldn't do Donald or Daisy because that would be, have a great night, Robbie. Thanks for joining and playing with us. Karen says Goofy. Disney X says Goofy. Jordan said Donald. Donald says Dina. Donald says Blake. Goofy says Noli and Jillian. Donald says Ronnie. I think I got Disney X, didn't I? Oops. Yeah. Can't go wrong with either one, right? I'm Team Goofy all day, every day. And again, it's about memories. And I'll bore some of you with my story that you've heard me say 100 times. But 1976, I was 6 years old, going to Disney World for the very first time. And back then, Disney World was the Magic Kingdom. That was the only thing there. And there were just a couple of resorts, Contemporary and Polynesian. We're taking the paddle boat over from the parking lot and, going through the water. And I happen to look out and there's a speedboat that pulled up next to us. And there's a rope. And at the end of that rope was Goofy water skiing. And from that day forward, Goofy was my guy. Loved it. I remember it like it was yesterday. So I will always pick Goofy over any character you could throw in front of me. It will always be Goofy for that reason. Okay, now, yes, absolutely. Karen says she remembers when they had the water show. Absolutely. Donald's cranky, says Disney-ac. Yes. Morning, noon, or night, Donald's cranky. That's definitely his trait. Okay, this is kind of a toss-up, right? Because I don't know that you can. I don't know how you pick one over the other, but are you picking Chip or are you picking Dale? Which chipmunk are you going with, Chip or Dale? Tina says Chip. Ronnie says Chip. Dale says Jillian and Noli. Dale says Karen. Chip says Dina. Disney-ac says can't keep them straight. Can't tell the difference, says Blake. Blake, I'm sure Noli and Jillian can tell you how to tell them apart. So I won't answer out loud yet. So girls, let your dad know how you tell them apart. I'm going to count to about 10 and then I'll tell you how. Karen shared it on TikTok side. All right. Hopefully the girls had enough time to share. Well, they're on YouTube. It's okay, Karen. It's all good. So Chip has the dark nose. Dale has the red nose. So you think of Chip like chocolate chip, dark nose. It's a chocolate chip, goes to Chip. So that's how you can tell those two apart. That's the easy way anyway. The other way is to ask them for identification, and they don't have pockets. So it's a whole workout. So just go with the nose. That's the easy way to go. Okay, next character pick. Are you picking Rapunzel or are you picking Tinkerbell? Rapunzel or Tinkerbell for your this or that? Tink says Karen. Tink says Tina. Ronnie says Tink. I get Dina with a Rapunzel and Blake with a Rapunzel. A Disneyak with a Rapunzel. Tink is cranky. Tink and Donald, same family tree. Rapunzel says Noli and Jillian. So I got Rapunzel 4, Tink 3. So I think that does it for that one. Okay, next one. Are you picking Pluto or are you picking Peter Pan? Disney. Tink has an attitude. Pluto or Peter Pan? Pluto says Tina. Pluto says Blake. Pluto says Disneyak. Pluto says Noli. Peter Pan says Dina. Figured somebody was going to be a Peter Pan some love. Peter Pan says Karen. I got 5 left after this. So looks like Pluto's winning that one. I feel like it's like election night and I'm reading the results as they come in from the precincts. Okay. Only 5. Yeah, only 5 left. That's we did like 28 though, Karen. It's pretty good. And then if we have time, you guys want to, we'll still do the ranking the resorts. Okay, we're going to the 100 Acre Wood. Backwards on Pluto or Peter Pan. Blake said he likes his peanut butter. I love that. That's funny. Okay, 100 Acre Wood. Are you picking Winnie the Pooh or are you picking Tigger? Pooh or Tigger? Pooh says Disneyak. Pooh says Tina. Actually, Tina said Pooh Bear. Noli and Jillian say Tigger. Dina says Tigger. Blake says Tigger. T-I-double-ger says Karen. Winnie says Ronnie. Another close one. So I would pick Tigger, but there's just something so adorable when you hear Winnie the Pooh say, "Oh, bother." It's just the cutest thing. Okay. Are you picking Belle or are you picking Snow White? Robbie dropped off, but I know he would pick Snow White. There's no doubt about it. So he got Snow White says Tina. Noli says Belle. Belle says Dina. Belle says Karen. She's my spirit princess. Ronnie says I'll pick Snow White for Robbie. Thank you, Ronnie. Bell says Blake. There's nothing more to me more just I'll say use the word beautiful than Belle in her yellow dress, Disneyac with Belle. I think that's such a beautiful look. Wolf, love Belle, but Snow White is my grandmother's favorite, so she's a must. I love that, Tina. I absolutely love the reason why you picked that. Karen says yes on the yellow dress. I'm guessing that's what you're saying yes for. So yes, it's amazing. Okay. Time for some Family Feud. Are you picking Elsa or are you picking Anna? Elsa or Anna for your pick'em. Tina with Anna. Disneyac with Anna. Noli and Dina with Anna. Karen goes Elsa. I'm also the oldest sister. Karen, I'd like to say I know how that feels, but I don't have any younger siblings, so I can't say that. Ronnie with Anna. But I totally get that, though, Karen. If I had siblings, I would totally understand that. Looks like Anna is the proverbial winner. Although when she was about ready to go off and marry Hans, I would have picked Elsa. No doubt about it. Okay. Last two. I think these are you're going to be quick, boom, with your answer. Not even have to think about them. Are you picking Magic Kingdom or are you picking Epcot? MK or EP, if you want to go short. Tina with MK. Karen with Epcot. I got Blake, Dina, and Ronnie with MK. Rolly and Jillian with MK, or well, they said KK, but I'm sure there you go, MK. Like, did they create a new park called the Kingdom? Karen, I think you might be standing alone at Epcot with everybody else over at Magic Kingdom. For me, it's kind of a toss-up. I mean, when we were there a couple months ago with my little grandson, I had said Magic Kingdom, no doubt about it. No ifs, ands, or buts. It'd be hard right now not to pick Magic Kingdom because of the new nighttime parade, which I can't wait to see in November when I'm there. But Epcot is fabulous as well. I have to lean towards Magic Kingdom because I get parade, day parade, night parade, and fireworks. If they bring the doggone parade back to Epcot that they used to have years and years ago, I pick that because I like Luminous better than I do Happily Ever After. I didn't pit those together, did I? I did Happily Ever After and for Fantasmic. You got to see it, so there you go. You did get to see it. That's awesome. I can't wait to see it. Okay, I'm sure you can guess the next one. Are you doing Hollywood Studios or are you doing Animal Kingdom? So Disneyac said Magic Kingdom, but Epcot is a close second. MK is just so classic and nostalgic. You got that right. Animal Kingdom for Karen. Hollywood Studios for Dina. Hollywood for Noli. Hollywood for Ronnie. Good answer. Blake says Hollywood Studios now, Animal Kingdom when it's all done. Hollywood Studios says Tina actually said DHS, getting all fancy and official. Disneyac, the question is Hollywood Studios or Animal Kingdom? Blake, I think that's a good answer as far as you'll pick Animal Kingdom when it's done. Of course, when it's done, shortly after, Hollywood Studios will have the Monsters Inc. land, which will change the dynamic again. Today, just like Blake said, I would pick Hollywood over Animal just because there's not a ton to do at Animal Kingdom right now. My wife and I were talking about our must do's when we're there in November, and I'm like, gosh, when we're at Animal Kingdom, Flight of Passage, Safari. I want to do Dinosaur one last time before it closes down for good, and then it's Festival of Lion King, Nemo, and the Bird Show. Those are my 6 must do's. Everest would be next on my list, and then we're kind of like just about done with stuff. I mean, I could take or leave Navi River. I'm not doing Cali River Rapids and getting all wet. So it's hard. Whereas at Hollywood, I mean, gosh, there's that many shows at Hollywood just about, right? You've got Indiana Jones, you got Frozen, you got Beauty and the Beast, you've got the Little Mermaid show, you've got the new Villain show. So there's just so much more at Hollywood compared to Animal Kingdom. So there you have it. That is tonight's This or That. You guys want to hang it up and call it a night, or do you want to do rank them with resorts at the different categories? We'll do value, then we'll do moderate, then we'll do deluxe. I don't want to do them all at once. I'm happy to stay on and do those, or we can do them next week. So it's this one last this or that. Ranking or hanging up. So Tina says ranking. Blake says ranking. Ronnie's got to go, unfortunately. Actually said she's got a jet. You're fancy, Ronnie, with the jet. Karen will stay. Ranking says Disneyac. All right. So let's do it. Rank says Noli and Jillian. Okay. So you might want pen and paper or pencil and paper to scribble down each of the resorts that I name off in each category. We'll start with just one category, write them down, and then you get to rank them. So like value resorts, there's 5. Ronnie, thanks for joining. It was so good to see you tonight. I hope you have a great night. And I'll catch you later. So if you got pen and paper handy, the 5 value resorts in alphabetical order. I'm doing my alphabetical order in my head. So alphabetical order, so there's no favoritism shown. All-Star Movies, All-Star Music, All-Star Sports, Art of Animation, and look at that, the only value resort that doesn't start with an A, Pop Century. So those are your 5. And we'll go in reverse order. So what is your number 5 ranked value resort? So your least favorite, number 5, they're all top 5, but your least favorite or number 5 ranked value resort. So Disneyac, you put Pop in there, I think, before I said what is number 5 in your list. So, never mind. Okay. So of those 5, Tina says sports is her number 5. Music says Blake. That's sports says Karen. Music says Noli and Jillian. Disneyac says sports. So I got 3 with sports, 2 with music. I'm going to make, Dina said 4 with sports. Sorry, Dina, I missed your answer there. So I got Tina, Dina, Blake, and Noli and Jillian with, Tina, Dina, Karen, and Disneyac with sports, and Blake and Noli and Jillian with music. I had music as my number 5. Okay, what is your number 4 then ranked value resort? On to number 4. Music for Karen. Thank you for putting a 4 next to that. Tina with music. Blake with sports. Nolan and Jillian with sports. Karen's never saved any of them. This is hard. I know. I totally understand that. Get that completely. Dina says music for number 4 for her. So music was my number 5. I put art of animation as my number 4. Again, I love the theming. It's incredible. But for me, I'm picking a value resort because I'm going to spend most all of my time at the parks and very little time in the resort. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to spend the extra money to stay there. So that's why I had that ranked lower. Disneyac said music for number 4 for you. So again, art of animation was my number 4. Just because of, like I said, I don't spend much time in the resort. I'm at the parks all day from rope drop to park close. And so spending the extra money doesn't make a lot of sense for me. Okay, who's number 3? Or which resort is number 3 on your list? So most of us have knocked out sports and music. Tina says art of animation. Dina says movies. Noli says movies. Blake says movies. Karen says movies. Project Loop, welcome in. We are ranking the value resorts right now. The 5 value resorts, we're on number 3. Movies, says Disneyac. My number 3 is All-Star Movies. So, man, Dina with movies, Noli with movies, Blake with movies, Disneyac with movies, and I had movies. Project Loop, I could make you feel really good and say, no, we just started and you didn't miss a thing. Or I could tell you that you missed about 30 this or that topics that we did. So however you need to feel, you can pick whichever. You can play this or that. You can say, we've done nothing except we just started ranking resorts, or you can say we did this or that and you missed it. Yeah, we just started doing ranking the resorts. So we're doing value resorts first. There are 5 of them. Most everybody has knocked out music and sports as their 4 or 5. We're on number 3, and most all of us said movies for number 3. So let's go to your number 2 then. Value resort, number 2 on your list. I have a pretty good sense of where everybody's at with 2 and 1. Tina has movies for number 2. Pop says Blake. Pop says Noli and Jillian. Noli and Jillian, blink twice if your dad is making you say the same answers. He'll never know. Dina says Pop. Art of Animation says Karen. Art of Animation says Disneyac. In all seriousness, Blake and girls, Blake, I hope you know I'm totally teasing you guys. This is all in good fun. I appreciate you guys being with us and love having you guys here every week. I think it's awesome. Number 2 for me is All-Star Sports. And you might be like, what? Why would you have All-Star Sports number 2? And a lot of you had it 5 or 4. It's kind of like raising my kids on wishes and illuminations. The very first resort we ever took our first son to was All-Star Sports. And it was the same resort we took our second son to for the very first time. And so those memories just stick with me. This past trip a few months ago when we went, taking the grandson for the first time, I made it a point we stayed at All-Star Sports just because of the family memories. And so that's why I have it ranked as high as I do on my list for value resorts, for that reason alone. Drum roll. Number 1. What is your number 1 value resort? I'm going to guess, yeah, Noli has art. Blake has art. I was going to guess that's where you guys had left on your list. Pop says Tina. Art of Animation says Dina. Pop says Karen. Music says Loop. It's the only one I've been to. Fair enough. There's nothing wrong with that answer. My number 1 is Pop Century. I think I shared that with you guys earlier. I absolutely love that resort. Love the Skyliner. And while the price is higher than All Stars, it's not considerably higher. So to me, it's still a valuable value resort when I'm at the parks all day long. Karen says pop. So there you have our value resorts. Let's move to moderate. There are 4 moderates. Interestingly enough, there are like twice as many deluxe as there are moderates. It's a considerable number. But let's go with moderate resorts. Let you write the 4 down. Caribbean Beach Resort is the first one. Coronado Springs is the second one. You have Port Orleans French Quarter and Port Orleans Riverside. So those are your 4 that will rank. Project Loop, thank you for sharing this out. I appreciate it. All right, number 4 for your moderates. What do you have number 4 in that list of those 4? It'd be interesting to see if we have much commonality. If you're just joining on the TikTok side, we are ranking the moderate resorts at Walt Disney World in Florida. The 4 to pick from: Caribbean Beach Resort, Coronado, Port Orleans French Quarter, and Port Orleans Riverside. Blake, that's a deluxe resort. Hold on that one. Tina has never stayed at moderate, but by looks Coronado, and Karen said Coronado for number 4. Dina says Caribbean Beach Resort. Disneyac says Caribbean Beach Resort. My number 4 I picked was Riverside. I feel like it has, to me, it's limited in its personality, I think is the best way I can put it. Blake, quit saying Beach Club, Beach Resort. That's deluxe. Unless you're saying Caribbean Beach. If you're saying Caribbean Beach, I get it then. Okay. You said Beach Club, and I'm like, no, that's a deluxe resort. And then you said Beach Resort. So you're saying Caribbean Beach Resort, I think. And Dina said Caribbean. Noli said Beach, so Caribbean Beach. Okay, got it. Disneyac said Caribbean. Okay, so for me, it's Riverside. Just doesn't have a lot of personality, I guess is the best way I can put it. I don't know. What's your number 3? Yeah, Disneyac went number 1 again. Okay, Port Orleans. Which Port Orleans? Riverside or French Quarter? For your number 4. And Blake and Nolan Jillian, I'm sorry I wasn't connecting the dots when you're saying Beach Club or Beach Resort. Tina says Riverside for number 3. Disneyac number 3 or number 4. Riverside. Karen has Riverside number 3. Blake says French Quarters. Nolan Jillian. Blink says French Quarters. Dina says Riverside. I had French Quarter as my number 3. So a lot of us matched French Quarter and or Riverside in the 3-4 slots. So now let's go to number 2. Deluxe are going to be a lot of fun, by the way. There's a lot of them to pick from. What is your number 2 ranked moderate resort? Tina has Caribbean Beach Resort. Coronado says Disneyac. Dina says French Quarters. Riverside says Noli and Jillian. Port Orleans French Quarter because they have beignets, says Karen. I totally hear you there. I've never stayed at the French Quarters, but I've been over there to have the beignets. And despite the fact everybody warning me, I inhaled the powdered sugar and choked or coughed for a little bit. Coronado says Blake. Oh, it's good to see you let your girls answer a different answer than you, Blake. It's about time, man. Just kidding. My number 2 is Coronado. The tower is fabulous. Destino Tower, just fabulous. It's deluxe at a moderate price, which I absolutely love. Okay, what is your number 1 moderate resort? I think I'm going to see, I don't know what I'm going to see. I'm going to see a collection of different things. I'm going to have some French Quarter, Riverside, Caribbean Beach, says Karen. Coronado Springs, says Noli and Jillian. Coronado, says Dina. Destino Tower, number 1. Disneyac Caribbean. Disneyac and Karen, I also had Caribbean Beach Resort as my number one. I know a lot of people complain because it's so spread out, and it absolutely is. It's right on the Skyliner hub. It's right at the hub where you can go straight to Hollywood or over to the Riviera and then off to Epcot, or you can walk over to the hub at the station at Riviera and ride over. Stay in the Jamaican area if you can. It's close to the main pool. It's close to the food courts. It's close to either one of the Skyliner hubs. It's not that far of a walk to the buses either. So if you're going to do Caribbean Beach Resort, I recommend the Jamaican section of the resort. So peaceful, so quiet. We stayed there in October of 2020, right after the park reopened from COVID. We were supposed to stay at one of the All-Stars. I think it was maybe Pop. I don't remember. And the value resorts weren't open up yet, so they moved us over to Caribbean Beach Resort, and that was the first experience we had on the Skyliner. I remember a couple of evenings, and that was back when, because of COVID, the parks didn't have fireworks. They didn't stay open late. Parks closed like at 7 p.m. in the evening. So we came back to the resort, and I remember spending almost every evening sitting out in one of the chairs right on the beach there and just watching the stars and whatever. It was so peaceful. Really enjoyed it. Okay, last but not least, we are going to rank the deluxe resorts. Karen, I have a feeling this is right up your alley for these. So there's too many of these for me to try to be smart and do them alphabetically, but I've never stopped me from trying. So I hope as close to alphabetical order as I can get, to not try to tip anybody off how I would vote. Animal Kingdom Lodge is your first one. If you want to write down AKL, you can do that. Be lazy like me. The second one alphabetically is Beach Club. I'm really working my alphabet skills here. The third one is Boardwalk. After the Boardwalk is Contemporary. After Contemporary, we have the Grand Floridian. You can write down Grand Flo or GF like I did. Let's see here. After the Grand Floridian, we go to Old Key West. Right, OKW if you like. And then after that one is the Polynesian or Poly. Then we have Saratoga Springs. Last two on my list, Wilderness Lodge and Yacht Club. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 of those, 4 moderates, 5 values. Incredible. For whatever reason, I thought there'd be more of a balance of more values than, but whatever. DVC Club has a big play on that, obviously. Okay, so you have 10, I think I said. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What is number 10 on your list? Saratoga, says Jordan. Blake says Yacht. Saratoga says Disney. At Contemporary, says Karen. Sorry. Yacht Club, says Tina. Beach Club, says Noli. Dina says Saratoga. So I have Jordan, Disneyac, and Dina all said Saratoga. I said Saratoga is my number 10. But so, Karen, like you said, Contemporary, I feel like with a list of 10, if you're like 8, 9, and 10 in any order, it's like we all pick the same, right? So for argument's sake, you pick Contemporary. If I have Contemporary at 9 or I have it at 8, I could totally see that we've kind of ranked them the same in that way. So, okay, number 9. Who do you have for your number 9 Deluxe Resort. And my guess is, and I'm totally guessing, that a lot of us probably haven't stayed at hardly any of these. So it's, again, what you've seen, what you've heard, if you've been to it and walked through it, whatever the case may be. Noli and Jillian say Saratoga. Blake has Saratoga as his number 9. Blink again, girls. Old Key West says Dina. Beach Club says Tina. Old Key West says Jordan. Saratoga says Karen. So see, Karen, I had Saratoga at 10. You have it at 9. So it's kind of, that's why I have my 8, 9, 10 are all lumped together. Probably 5, 6, 7, and 8, or 5, 6, and 7 are lumped together, and 1 through 4 kind of lumped together, or maybe 4 through 7, whatever. Boardwalk says Disneyac. Saratoga is too big and too many bus stops. Yes. The property is beautiful, but I totally get that with you. My number 9, I can't remember if I said or not, was Old Key West. Stayed there once. Again, beautiful, just not the Disney experience. When you're with kids, it just didn't feel like Disney to me. Beautiful place, though. Okay, what do you have for number 8? We're on to number 8 for your deluxe resort rankings. Contemporary says Jordan. Polynesian says Blake at number 8. Old Key West says Tina. Yacht Club has Noli and Jillian. Animal Kingdom Lodge says Dina. Karen's going to say Boardwalk at number 8. My number 8 is the Contemporary. So again, Contemporary, Old Key West, Saratoga, I think a lot of us had those in the 8, 9, 10 in one order or another. So I totally get that ranking. Let's go to number 7. Disneyac said you talked me to Old Key West. It's a great place. It's beautiful. I remember quick story, we were booked at All-Star Movies, and like 2 weeks prior to our trip, Disney called me and said, hey, we'd like to provide you a free upgrade to Old Key West. Well, I'm like, All-Star Movies, Deluxe Resort, same price. Of course, move me to the Deluxe Resort. So we went there, and it was great to experience it, but it just didn't feel like Disney. Okay. Karen says Wilderness for her number 7. Blake has Contemporary. Noli and Jillian have Boardwalk. Tina, I think your Boardwalk is for number 7. Animal Kingdom Lodge says Jordan. Dina says Wilderness Lodge at number 7. My number 7 is the Boardwalk. Jordan says Animal Kingdom Lodge. I can't remember if I said that or not. So again, similar groupings for a lot of us within a couple picks. What do you have for number 6? My guess is no matter whether you have them ranked 1 or 10, if Disney knocked on your door and said, hey, would you like to stay at your 10th ranked deluxe resort, you're not going to say no, right? I wouldn't either. Blake has Wilderness for 6. Tina has Wilderness for 6. Animal Kingdom Lodge says Karen. Grand Floridian says Jordan. Yacht Club says Disneyac. Noli has Polly at number 6. 10, 9, 8, 7. My number 6 is the Beach Club. Honestly, you get to like these top 6, and for me, they're pretty doggone close to being interchangeable. I would never say no to any of them, of course. All right, we are moving to the top 5. Dina said Yacht for here, number 6. I don't know if I said that or not. We're into the top 5 now. What is your number 5 ranked deluxe resort? Tina says Grand Flow. Blake says Boardwalk. Noli and Jillian say Grand Floridian at number 5. Boardwalk for Jordan. Animal Kingdom Lodge for Disneyac. Karen, did you send in your number 5 yet? If you did, I missed it. Oh, no, Old Key West for number 5 for Karen. I'm glad that we got the chance to stay there, but that was so my youngest, who's 19 now, Tanner was probably 6, 7. So it just didn't feel like Disney. And plus, the other thing that we didn't like was we get back from the park at 10:30. There's no food court. All the restaurants are closed. So that first night we were like, we don't even have anything to drink. What are we going to do? Yeah, you're absolutely right there, Karen. Karen said the rooms are so much bigger and you have so much more space. I totally agree with you there. No doubt about it. But they have no elevators to their second and third floors. That's another thing. We were lucky enough to get a first floor when we stayed there. My number 5 is the Yacht Club. Okay. What is your number 4 deluxe resort? Number 4. Contemporary says Tina. Grand Flow says Blake. Contemporary says Noli and Jillian. Beach Club says Jordan. Grand Flow says Karen. I'm like, I assume that was meaning Grand Flow, but I wasn't going to. Dina says Grand Floridian for number 4. Beach says Disneyac. My number 4 is the Wilderness Lodge. One reason I love, I'm drawing a blank. Whispering Canyon, the restaurant there. This is fabulous. The people that work there are great. Very rustic, beautiful, gorgeous place. And it's kind of silly, but I remember one year Lori and I were there, and we took the boat over to the Grand Floridian to have dinner there. And the boat pulled up to the dock, and there were probably 10 or 12 of us on the boat. And we all get off, and people are chit-chatting, whatever. And then all of a sudden, it just went dead silent. And at first, it was like, what happened? And then you look, and everybody's looking in the same direction. So we look, and this big bald eagle was swooping in right over top of the water and landed on a tree probably 20, 30 feet from us. It was so majestic. So silly, but part of my brain working with wilderness. All right, we're headed to top 3. What is your number 3 ranked deluxe resort at Walt Disney World? Wilderness Lodge says Jordan. Yacht Club says Karen. Noli says Wilderness. Beach Club says Blake. Animal Kingdom Lodge says Tina. Contemporary says Dina. Disneyac. Oh, I must have voted for something twice. You got 4 left instead of 3. Oh, that's funny. Well, pick one for your number 3, Disneyac. Contemporary. Okay, there you go. My number 3 is Grand Floridian. I guess when we get to Disneyac, you can have a 1A and a 1B. How about that? You have an extra left over. So number 3 for me was Grand Floridian. I'm so bummed. I'll PG it. I'm so bummed that the gingerbread house is not going to be there this year. So they can build that little tavern or bar or whatever they're building in the middle of that beautiful area there. Heartbroken over that. But I still picked it number 3. All right, number 2. What is your number 2 ranked? Yeah, Dina, exactly. Because I was planning on going to see that when we were there in November. Polly says Tina. Old Key West says Noli. Old Key West says Blake. Blink, blink, girls. Beach Club, Dina. Karen, Polynesian. I have memories of staying there with my dad when I was little. Isn't that awesome? Did you ever do the luau show when they have that there, Karen? Did it once. Fabulous. That's one of those things I wish they'd bring it back. I don't know why they don't. So popular. So wonderful. Yes, she did. Man, I love that. Dina with Beach Club. Disney at Grand Flow, but not intentionally. Not 1A or 1B. My number 2 is Animal Kingdom Lodge. I think just the uniqueness. First off, the lobby area is gorgeous. We've been over there and just sat in the lobby for a while just to take in the atmosphere. It's just the uniqueness of being able to see the animals out there in the savannah makes that pretty cool. It's not great from a transportation perspective because it's far from everything. I know it floors a lot of people. You still have to take a bus to Animal Kingdom Park, even though they're to the Animal Kingdom Lodge. I think that was a miss on their part that they should have had a better mechanism to be able to just walk or something across. But nonetheless, we are up to number one, and in Disneyac's case, number 1A and 1B. So what is left on your list? Number one, Saratoga Springs Treehouse Villas, says Tina for number one. Love that. Animal Kingdom Lodge says Noli. Animal Kingdom Lodge says Blake. Polly says Dina. Polly says Jordan. Guess I have no idea how hard it is for me not to say Polly want a cracker when I see the word Polly. Disneyac, Polly 1A and 1B. There you go. Karen, did you tell me your number one yet? If you did, I missed it. Beach Club, my home resort, says Karen. There you go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when I said Beach Club at number 6, you were probably calling me a few names under your breath, I'm guessing, Karen. My number one is, just like Dina, Polynesian. Beautiful resort. I love Ohana's breakfast. Spectacular. Lilo and Stitch, the whole 9 yards. Watching the fireworks from out on the beach in the evening. Amazing way to enjoy the show without being crammed in with a bunch of people. Tina says, very fun, Mike. Thank you. Tina, thank you. I appreciate that. And remember, you're not allergic to cinnamon. You're sweet enough as you are. Always a way to spin that. Okay. For those that stuck around with me, thank you so very, very much. I look forward to Tuesday nights to do this with you guys. I enjoy doing the games. I always like the questions that people have that they ask that we try to answer and help out in any way possible. Jordan, can't wait for the Poly stay that you helped us with. Jordan, I'm so excited for you. And I think it's unbelievable that your mom is in the same town I'm in. It's bizarre in the whole grand scheme of the world. That's crazy. Tina, thank you very much. She just shared my email address and our link to the Discord. If you've not joined, we have the Park Life Discord. Have a page there for people to put questions in. Again, we're doing Park Life Party in November 13th, 14th, and 15th. I have to do the calendar in my head. So if any of you have the ability to be down there with us, then we're going to have a great time. We're going to hopefully do the Christmas tree stroll Thursday evening at Disney Springs. We're going to do Magic Kingdom Friday and the Christmas party Friday night, and then Epcot on Saturday. Karen, as you have the memories of raising your little ones at All Star, I did my daughter at Beach. That's so awesome, Karen. I absolutely love that. Look, if you said to me that you raised your daughter staying at Fort Wilderness Lodge in a tent, I would think that was the coolest thing ever. Anything you can do that you have those memories with your children, it doesn't matter what it is, it makes it so special and fills the ticker right there, and that's what matters. So it's perfect. Thank you, Tina. Yes, November 13th through the 15th, Park Life Party. Family memories are the best. Absolutely. 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 Got to take Little Briggs a couple months ago. We will be taking Poppy in a couple years. Do you go live when you're at the park? So, Karen, I probably will a little bit. I'm not a content creator. I'm not a streamer. I'm not going to be on live all day long down at the parks. That's not who I am. Part of it is because I want to enjoy some of my vacation. But I will probably, I'll usually stream the parades and the fireworks. When we're there for the Christmas party, I will probably stream both Christmas parades. I get it. Stay with family. Exactly. So I don't want to take away from that, but I'll, like I said, probably the parades, the daytime and the nighttime parade, the Christmas parade, the Christmas party, the fireworks. Those are usually the things I stream. But outside of that, I'm not streaming the rides while we're on them. Truth be told, if Disney were to go the route of Universal and make you put your phones away and not be able to stream or record on the rides, I'd be okay with that. But to teach their own, I suppose. So yeah, I'll do a little bit of streaming though, Karen. I just won't be doing it the whole time. That's for sure. Excited. We fly down on November 11th, which is exactly 12 weeks from today. So I'm excited about that. And we'll either eat dinner at a resort or we'll eat dinner at Disney Springs. Depends on what time we land, if we're on time and all that. Wednesday that week, I think we will do Magic Kingdom, and I'll be able to see the nighttime parade for the first time, and I'm totally excited about that. Thursday, since we're doing the meet and greet at Disney Springs that evening, we will make that our Animal Kingdom day, since there are fewer things to do, and I'll be able to get all those done, and there's no nighttime things going on in early November at Animal Kingdom. Friday will be Magic Kingdom day and the party that night. Saturday will be Epcot all day. I am almost 100% certain we're going to have dinner at Teppan-Edo, which is the hibachi style restaurant in Japan. That's one of my favorites. Haven't done it in probably 3 or 4 years. So looking forward to that. Sunday will be Hollywood Studios. I'm certain of that. Monday, I think we might start at Hollywood. If we feel like we didn't get everything done on Sunday at Hollywood Studios, we'll start at Hollywood. And I think we'll park hop probably to Epcot. And we'll either finish the day at Epcot, or if we absolutely love the new parade at Magic, we'll head back over there for the night. Karen, I have your park reservations already. So since I'm not an annual pass holder, I don't have to get park reservations. I have the date-based tickets, so I don't have to do that. Jordan, do you normally buy Lightning Lanes? So when we went in May, again, we were with my grandson. I wanted to be able to accomplish as much as we could and not make him stand in line. It was the first time he'd ever been to an amusement park of any kind. So we had no idea how he was going to do on rides. I had no idea how he was going to do with characters, the heat, the crowds, everything. So I bought Lightning Lanes at Magic Kingdom, at Epcot, and at Hollywood Studios. And we got 8 to 10 rides every day on the Lightning Lanes. And you'll see some people that say it's not worth it, and they only got like 3. Well, I look at it this way. I don't have to get the most popular rides on Lightning Lanes to make it worth it. The goal is to save as much time as you can throughout your entire park day in waiting in line. So if I could do Peter Pan, great. But if I do Winnie the Pooh, even though it's only a 30-minute wait and I can save 25 minutes, I save 25 minutes. And so by doing 8 of those, we probably saved 3 hours of wait time, as opposed to only getting 3 rides in because we wanted the most popular. So for us, I did it. This trip in November, I won't do it for Animal Kingdom. There's just not enough there to do. I haven't decided yet, to be honest with you, if we'll get them or not. I probably will for one of the park days. I will absolutely do the individual Lightning Lanes for Guardians. That way I can at least ride it once through that Lightning Lane. And then if I want to do standby, I can ride it a second time. Same thing for Tron. I'll do that. I bought those this last trip. There were 7 adults and then the baby. I didn't buy individual Lightning Lanes for 7 adults because I knew a few people would not ride those rides. So I only got 4, knowing that my middle son Tyler and his wife Kennedy and my youngest son Tanner, those 3 would all ride Tron and they would all ride Guardians. I bought the 4th one and I offered it to my dad because he's never ridden either one of those. He did Tron. He passed on Guardians, so I got to do Guardians because I'll go again and what have you. Yep, single pass for Flight of Passage is nice as well. Absolutely. We try to rope drop Flight of Passage if we can, and knock that out first thing in the morning. When we were there in May, the park opened. Originally, the park was supposed to open at 8, and early entry for your resort guests is 7:30. They moved park opening to 7:30, so resort rope drop was 7 a.m. It was really early when you're trying to get 6 or 7 other people ready to go early in the morning. So, but that's usually what I try to do is Flight Passage rope drop that, especially if it opens up early. We can do that, and then we're heading to the safari when it's still nice and cool out before the sun gets too hot and too high up in the air. So I enjoyed this part of the interaction as well, talking about your plans on trips, answering questions that you guys have. So always open to do that, and I enjoy that interaction. But I really love playing the games with you guys as well, and I'm so happy that you spent the evening with me. If you're new here, and there might be a couple on the TikTok side in particular that are new here, I do this every Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on my TikTok channel and on the Park Life Podcast YouTube channel. So you can find me in either place. I do recorded podcasts Monday mornings, usually at 5 a.m. Eastern time on the Park Life Podcast YouTube channel and on the Park Life Podcast Spotify channel. So you can catch those. I just kicked off, today's the 19th. So yesterday's podcast that I dropped was the history of Walt Disney World Chapter 1, and it was about why Florida. Next week's podcast, I've already recorded it. It's scheduled to be dropped. It's Chapter 2 of History of Walt Disney World, talking about opening day attractions. I don't know what Chapter 3 will be yet. I've got about, 10 or 12 or 14 chapters for that series of the History of Walt Disney World. So every Monday morning I drop those. Love for you to give a listen. Hopefully you enjoy it. Provide comments, feedback. If there's topics you'd like to hear, I'm always happy to get that from you as well. So, okay, let's wrap it up for tonight. I appreciate your time. Gosh, we're here together for 2 hours tonight. So thank you. Yes, the e-ticket days. Exactly, Karen. Way back when. The goofy water skiing days. Absolutely, yes. So Karen, it was great to have you with us tonight. Thank you. Jordan, thanks for joining again. I appreciate it. Disneyac, thank you. Project Loop, thank you. Blake, Noli, Jillian, Tina, Dina, Ava, thank you guys all for being with us. I appreciate it. We will see you all again next week. Have a great night and even better tomorrow. And when you wake up, remember, it's a great day to be alive. We'll see you guys later. Goodbye, everybody.